Hi, I'm John Walker. I'm a research scientist and professor with Texas A&M AgriLife Research in San Angelo.
Hi, I'm Bill Costanzo. I'm the Livestock Guardian Dog Specialist at the AgriLife Center in San Angelo.
And we're out here at our bonding pens where we've been doing research on the best ways to bond livestock guardian dogs. Bill, why don't you show them the pens that we have here?
Okay, so this is one of our 1 acre bonding pens. We have 4 of these pens that we set up this past summer. We bonded 6 different dogs. We were tracking how dogs that are paired together bond with livestock versus singly. And then also these 2 pens in this pasture had hot wire around the bottom. And so we're tracking those dogs to see if they decide to roam later on when they get out. All these dogs were socialized between 5 and 15 minutes during the week. And that time depended on the actual process that I was doing with them. Sometimes it was just strict socialization, petting the dogs, rolling them over, checking their feet, legs, putting my fingers in their mouth. All those things are beneficial later on when you have to do health checks on the dogs. The pups were also taken for truck rides and tethered starting at 2 minutes and ending at 15 minutes over the period of the project here in the bonding pens.
So one of the controversies on bonding is how much interaction should you have between people and the dogs. Some people believe that the very minimum amount that you can have is the best. Others, like us, see no problem with having them well socialized, not only with the livestock, but also with their human handlers. Again, as Bill mentioned, this is important to be able to take care of your dogs. It's also important relative to potential aggressive interactions with people and liabilities that you may face for dogs that are not well bonded. A recent study was done in France where the researchers went out to different flocks that were all herded in the mountains and the Alps in France, and they interviewed these shepherds to find out how they had raised their dogs, and they put them into 2 categories. There were 16 dogs that were raised in what they called a traditional manner, where they had minimal contact with people. They were fed daily, and then when they were out during the bonding period, and then when they went out to work and protect sheep, they were herded, so they had interaction with people. And there were 12 dogs that the handlers and the shepherds socialized those dogs. Some of them would take them in the house, but they played with them and they had good interaction and contact with them. They then did some tests on these dogs to categorize them as high risk or low risk dogs, and this was based on strangers walking up to the dog and seeing how that dog reacted to strangers, whether they were passive or whether they barked and growled, this sort of thing. And what they found was that half of these dogs that had minimal socialization, they put in a high risk category. In other words, they barked and were aggressive when strangers walked up. Other half were low risk. Of these high risk dogs, they found out that 4 of them had offensively bitten people. In other words, they actually attacked people, and 2 other ones also tried to bite people, just bit their clothing. Of these low risk dogs, none of them bit, and of the high risk dogs, there's also 2 of them that didn't bite. These dogs that were socialized with the shepherd during the bonding period and everything, when they evaluated them, they categorized all of them as low risk. And of those, 10 of the dogs had never bitten a person, and 2 had defensively bitten people because they were being treated for something and they were scared and they bit. Now, one thing to notice on this is, yes, of these dogs that were raised with minimal contact, half of them were low risk, but half were high risk. And the point is, you may have had an experience where you've raised dogs and you put minimal contact and they've worked and they've been good dogs. But the probability is that half of those won't, and you're just setting yourself up for some problems. That's why we do research. We don't want to just take empirical evidence from individuals, although we don't discount that evidence from people's experience, but it's important to also do replicated things so you can actually figure the probability of having a problem or of something being successful. So we bond our dogs and we socialize our dogs during bonding. And Bill kind of went through how we do that. We've been doing this for almost 10 years, and those dogs that we bond that way, we put them out with very minimal contact, 2 or 3 times a week with people to feed and check on them, but otherwise not the close contact these dogs have with their shepherd. And our dogs will remain friendly over their lifetime. We can catch them, to treat them, take care of them. They're not aggressive to people. And we think that's a really good thing. That's what we recommend. Some of the research that we're doing here has been sponsored by the Sheep and Goat Predator Management Board, and we want to thank them for their contribution to the work that we're doing here.